Hello again, my friend. Thank you for joining me again. In this message, in this visit, it's going to pretty much just be me chatting here. Excuse me. It's the reason I'm doing this, and I've written a little bit below, is that what I want to cover is difficult to type out. So I've given myself a few bullet points here, and I'm just going to try and talk our way through it. So what I want to try and cover are 4 points, I think. We'll see how it goes. 1, why is it so hard to find clean food? Why? And two, I did it down over here where you couldn't see. 2, why isn't the food in the grocery store clean? 3, how is it that we've ended up here in this microcosm? I'm sorry, I keep looking at myself. How is it that we've ended up here in this time, in this epoch, in this shape? And then 4, in the last visit, in what I wrote out, I don't believe I said it in the video, but it's a cartel. So how do we break this cartel? And I'll explain that hopefully as we go along. So let's go back. Why is it so hard to find clean food? Well, to produce clean food is a lot of work. It is a tremendous amount of work, and there aren't too many of us that are willing to do that work. And quite frankly, at the end of our last visit, I talked in the video and on the written in the text that it's the hard part, and I've hit on this several times, the hard part for a farmer isn't really producing the food. I mean, that's physically difficult, but that's something that we have agreed to do, and it's something that we enjoy. If anyone ever asks me and listens, holds still long enough after they ask the question about being a farmer, I like to say you either are a farmer and you can't not be a farmer. You either are and can't not, or you're not. There is no middle ground. So what am I talking about? Farmers are farmers because they're farmers, all right? And so the hard part about being a farmer that's growing clean food isn't being a farmer because you are a farmer because you can't not. And then the hard part is selling. It's actually making a living off from growing this clean food that you've just poured your life into and you've poured yourself into and you've worked so hard for. It's actually making a sale is really hard. And it's especially hard for clean food because we don't just take our clean food in. We can't just sign a contract with, for me, I can't just sign a contract with Purdue or Miller or Tyson because they don't grow clean food and they don't care. I care. So there's nobody to sign a contract with. And even if I did sign a contract, my cost of production is so high that once a middleman is in there and they get their cut out of it, there's nothing left. So I have to sell, and clean food farmers have to sell almost without exception directly to the end user. And so trying to get your attention and educate you about clean food so that it becomes a part of your life is difficult. You know, how many farmers do you know that are here doing videos and writing emails and trying to educate people about clean food? And I personally only know of one, Joel Salatin, which is not to say that there aren't others. I'm saying I personally know of one. And, you know, he's the Pied Piper or the godfather of this whole movement here in our country that's going on right now, at least as far as I know. So that's why it's so hard to find, is that there really aren't, on a percentage or per capita basis, there really aren't that many of us doing it. Now, I live near Ann Arbor, and there are more of us in this immediate area doing it than in other areas. But even then, it's difficult to find a good outlet or outlets or a waiting customer base that are supporting you, supporting me, supporting the farmers every week, and are right there at the farmer's door, like they go to Kroger or Walmart or Meijer or wherever. It's hard to find that. And that makes the job very difficult. And it makes living your life very difficult. You know, we're pouring ourselves into making this clean food because we care so much, but then there isn't somebody on the other side, you, who are there saying, here's my money, here are my dollars, here, take my dollars, this is important to me. I want to support you, and I want to spend my money with you, and I don't want to support Kroger, and I don't want to support Meijer, and I don't want to support the food system, the cartel of the food system. I'm going to get to that again. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do clean food, all right? It's very limited. It's very limited. So that's why it's so difficult. All right, so the next point is, why isn't the food in the grocery store clean? It's not local. And even if it is local, you know, so even if I made a deal with Kroger in Milan and I said, here, well, they don't, but if I wanted to sell my products, my chicken, to my neighbors in Milan, because in Kroger's in Milan, I want to provide it to those people, it can't be done. So the bureaucracy of getting food to local people is huge. It's terrible, and it's huge. And to work through all of the red tape and all of the things to figure out if you even can sell it is unreasonable. So how did it end up that way? Well, the next point I have on my list is follow the money. And that goes to the cartel. So I need to cover one more point before I start talking a lot more about the cartel. So the cartel has put all kinds of rules and law in place because they have enough money to influence the bureaucracy so that rules can be written that give them the advantage and basically force it so that the only place that we can get food is in a grocery store, which then means that it can't be clean. Now, why can't it be clean? I'm sorry, I didn't answer the question. Why can't it be clean? It can't be clean because for a grocery store to make money and for their whole system to work, they take all of the groceries to one spot, one huge warehouse, and we've seen them. You know, there's well, you've seen them, huge warehouse where each store in that area is filled out of that one big warehouse. And so all of the products go into that warehouse. They're organized by truckload inside that warehouse, loaded on the truck, and then taken out to each individual store. So the stores have nothing to do with what's coming into them. So to get local fresh food that hasn't been processed just can't happen, because once it leaves the farm and goes to the warehouse, is mixed around, then goes on a truck and then goes out to the store and is put on the shelf, it can't stay fresh that long without being processed. Further, the grocery store can't sell a product to people that might have salmonella on it, like out of Mexico or out of China or out of wherever. And so theoretically, they can't do that. I mean, I can remember not long ago there was a big scare about green onions because they had salmonella on them. And there's been scares about greens, and there's always something that you hear. It's just every few weeks you hear something. Oh, there's a recall for this lot number and this. So a grocery store is very nervous about having a recall come through their front door or their back door and go out their front door. So it has to be, the food has to be rendered inert. Inert. So that's a fancy word to say dead. It has no value left in it. It has no nutrition left in it. And what is left is an accident. It's dead. It's not alive. So to get clean food through a grocery store just can't happen. It just can't. So how did we end up here? Well, we ended up here, I've kind of given the story already, is because a grocery store can't have something coming in the back door and going out the front door that will cause you to be immediately sick. And then immediately sick is the problem. What they don't look at is what, the long term is. And they don't care what the long term is. As long as it can't be traced back immediately to their door, then that's what they're looking for. So that means it has to be rendered inert. And this whole system of this happening, at least as far as I can trace it, happened with Edsel Ford. All right, so Henry Ford, or as my gramps called him, Hank, was a farm boy. He was raised on a farm. He loved farming. What most of you probably don't know is that he always built tractors. Even when he was building Model Ts and Model As and everything else, he also was building tractors. And he would bring them out here to Milan and have the farmers try the tractors. And he said that when they break, just get it out of the way, get it out of your way, grab another one, and I'll come pick it up because I want to tear it apart and see what was wrong with it. So Hank Ford was a farmer. And his son Edsel, so by the time Edsel came around and things were going on, they lived in town. They didn't live on the farm anymore. And what happened is that pasteurization had not come into being yet, in refrigeration, mostly refrigeration. So the way what ended up killing Edsel Ford was that he was drinking a liquid that was called milk, and it wasn't. It was a white-based something, and I don't remember what it was anymore, or at least right now. And it was poison, and it ended up killing Edsel Ford. And so off from that story, and that's the earliest one that I can really find, and I may not be right, but it proves my point. It's the beginning of my point, is that the system, the bureaucracy had to make it so that when you consume food, you didn't drop over dead. So that means that they had to do pasteurization, and then there's refrigeration, which is how we can have raw milk now, and have a lot of the fresh meat is through refrigeration and freezing. And but what took hold and what really has made it so that we ended up where we are now is industrialization. All right, so through industrialization, everybody like me who lives out in the boondocks, which actually I don't, but when industrialization came, they moved to town because they could get a job in town and get paid regularly and do a single job and not have to worry about their crop. They stopped farming, they went to town, worked in the factory, and raised their family in town. So the problem is that when you're all living in town, and in the old subdivisions particularly, where it's just a postage stamp, there isn't room for a garden. And quite frankly, when you stopped farming and you moved to town and you got the job, you didn't want to farm anymore. There's a reason that you left the farm. So that means that then food has to be taken from the boonies out with me and gotten into town, into a store, so that people who live in town who are not farmers have food. Do you follow that? The industrialization caused this. And so, now we've gotten to the point where, farmers are only just a little over 1% of the whole population of the United States. That's something. We are a small little bit. We're a small group of people. So then because we're a small group of people, we've got a great big job that has to be filled, because getting bad food is better than getting no food. And if you, quite frankly, you folks in town stop getting food, you're going to be a little bit upset, going to make you a little bit nervous, and you're going to want your food, even if it's bad food. So that means that the food system, food had to become industrialized, and it had to become a system. Well, anytime something becomes industrialized in a system, well, then it can become a cartel really quick, like the Mexican drug cartels or the Colombian cartels. I'm afraid of the cartels. I don't want to go mess with those guys. They'll kill you. Well, guess what? They do the same thing to us. They may not come out and kill us, but what they do is they break us. They make us so we can't afford to live. And the way that they do that is by bureaucracy and by getting rules and laws in place that make it so only they can fulfill the law. Excuse me just a moment. With their dead food and their poisonous water and their poisonous food and all of those things, they make it so that little peanut guy here can't even break through to be able to sell easily directly to you, mostly because you don't know. I'm trying to dispel that. There are very few people that really know. So again, I have follow the money. So what do I mean by follow the money, and what do I mean by cartel? All right. I'm going to gather my thoughts here. So the food system cartel is part of an overarching cartel. All right, the overarching cartel, I don't even have a name for it, but it's like a three-legged stool. All right, so the first leg, or one of the legs, is food. One of the legs is the medical industry, or cartel. And the third is big pharma industry, or cartel. All right, so those three those three work together with marketing, with laws, with rules, with bureaucracy, and with marketing again, with marketing again, with marketing again, and marketing and marketing and marketing. And they make it so that we're like in a matrix. Excuse me. And and very few people even know about the red pill or the blue pill. And the problem is once you do know about the red pill or the blue pill and you take the red pill, then you're really hung bung. So this is red pill stuff. Maybe I should change my topics and my headers to the red pill, because this is the red pill. And so those cartels, first they make it so that nobody knows, and we're all in the matrix. And as long as we're getting our television, as long as we're getting our well, there's my phone, our iPhones, and as long as we're getting our entertainment, and as long as we have our boats and we have our new cars and we have our big houses, as long as we have that, and we've got, look at the birdie, don't pay attention to that you're eating poison and that you're dying. Don't pay any attention to that. Just here's stuff, do stuff. Then they win. Okay? All right, so how is it a cartel, and how does one cartel feed the other cartel? So the three legs are food, medical, pharma. So the food industry gives us bad food and it makes us sick. That sends us to the second leg, the medical industry. And the medical industry says, oh no, it can't be food. It is, you have bad genes, or you know what? You need to take this pill. Don't worry about that red pill. Here's another blue pill. Take the blue pill. It'll make you feel better. So where does the blue pill come from? The third, Big Pharma. So Big Pharma might even be the linchpin, because the pharmaceutical industry is also the pesticide industry. The pharmaceutical companies make pesticides, and it's a very profitable thing for them as well, just selling pesticides. But just think about it. Just think about that. What if you could come up with a business model whereby you made money by selling one product that by its very nature and through marketing, you can make it so you could sell and control a whole nother product, and that people would literally be dying to get to you. And not only would they be dying, but you would have caused their death. What a business model. You pay me, I'm pharma, you pay me for me to get you sick, and then you pay me for me to give you the blue pill. I'm going to do it toward you, the blue pill, so that you'll eat more of my product until finally you die. I have owned you from cradle to grave, and I have made money off from you the whole time. That is a business model. That is a cartel. That is what I am trying to fight against, and others like me. There are doctors who are going, whoa, 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 take the red pill. Don't take the blue pill, take the red pill, get out. They're realizing, don't do that. But pharma comes crashing in, and all of the stuff comes crashing in. And if you pay attention to the ads on your TV, they're about food, they're about cars, and they're about pills. Most of them are like that. The other ones are entertainment, beer, food. What is Bob Heath out here in his field waving his arms back and forth going, it's going to kill you. Don't do that. It's going to kill you. What am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do. How do I fight against a cartel? How does anyone fight against a cartel? We don't have money for marketing as a group. We certainly don't have money to stand up against the cartels. My goodness, Coca-Cola is huge. Pepsi-Cola is huge. Frito-Lay, Bayer, Monsanto, Zeneca. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on and on. Man, they make billions and billions of dollars every year. I'd be happy to make $100,000 in a year. I'd be giddy. And so here I am. I've got this great product that's not only not going to kill you, but it gives you life. And it increases your life, and it gives you strength, and it gives you longevity. And it makes it so you can eat ice cream with your grandchildren. And in my parents' and my in-laws' case, they're great-grandchildren. My parents and Kirsten's parents know their great-grandchildren, and they know them personally. Whoa, holy cow. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So how do we end the cartel? Oh yeah, more about follow the money. So how do we end up this way, right? So the bureaucracy. So the bureaucracy is the one that makes the rules, right? It's all made down in Washington, D.C., and a little bit closer to us is Lansing, but they pretty much just follow what D.C. tells them to do. And so what's the job of D.C.? Do you know? You can say, well, they make laws, they interpret laws. That isn't their job. Their job is to collect more taxes. That's what their job is. Their job, a bureaucrat's job, is to make sure that they still have a job. And a politician's job is to make sure that they still have a job. That's what they're worried about. That's what their job is. Guess who's out here? Well, I have a crass phrase. I'm not going to say it. Sorry. All right, I'm just going to say it. We're out here sucking hind tit. We're sucking it. And that's what they're going. They're going, suck it. Right? You know, they're flipping us the bird going, you keep voting me in. You keep buying. You keep doing what we're telling you to do. So that's the only way. So what that does is those three industries, think of the taxes that those three industries pay in rather. And what the bureaucracy's job is to get more tax money. And those industries, they pay taxes. They pay a lot of taxes. I can't even begin to measure up with that. And the clean food movement can't begin to measure up to that. Well, they don't want anything to do with us. The bureaucracy wants us out. They make a lot of money off from pesticides and off from pharmaceuticals and off from medical industry and off from chemotherapy and off from insulin and off from anxiety medicine and off from this medicine, off from that medicine. They're making a lot of money. They're doing what they're supposed to do and they're succeeding at it. But you don't need it. You don't have to live that way. You can begin taking your money and do it tomorrow. Take your money and find a farmer and support that farmer that's growing clean food. Help him. Break the cartel. Tell them, suck it. Let's give them the finger back. Let's tell them to go pound sand. We're not playing anymore. The more people we get involved, then the easier it is to find clean food, the less you'll have to go to the grocery store and accept nasty food, and we'll change where we've ended up. I don't know how, I don't even know what else to say. I've given so much proof to you, and I'm going to continue to give more, and I'm going to continue pleading my case. But we're living in the matrix. They're feeding us what we want. We're plugged in. It's like it's like sugar, right? So sugar, if you ever go to Dr. Rosnay's any of her free talks, she talks about sugar. Sugar is death. It's absolute death to you. It's killing you in more ways than you can even imagine. I'm not even talking about that. I'm still trying to get you off from dirty food. She's trying to get you off from sugar. But so sugar is addictive. It's addictive to your brain. And if you don't, once you get hooked on sugar and you stop eating sugar, your brain's like, hey, I need sugar. It's like cocaine or heroin. And I guess I've even heard her say, I hope she doesn't get angry and I hope that I'm right, but like sugar is more addictive than like heroin or more addictive than cocaine. Don't hold me to that because I've not done that research. So I got to go on my memory of what I've heard her say in her talks. But I think that's right. And even if it's not exactly right, it's close. All right. Sugar is very addictive. So the bureaucracy and the huge cartel and the conglomerates, they're feeding you sugar. They're feeding you what you want. They're feeding you the blue pill. Take the blue pill. Take the sugar, take the candy, and we do. So you got to stop that. That's how we can get rid of this and how it can be easier to eat food to stay alive is to stop playing along with the cartel and stop playing along with the bureaucracy. Don't do it anymore. Find a local farmer, support them, give them your money. Give them your time. Give them your advertising efforts. Word of mouth is the best. There is none better. Word of mouth. Hey, have you had Farmer Bob's Happy Chicken? Have you tried that chicken? Oh, it is so good. It is so good. If you haven't had it, then you should get it because holy cow. I don't know what we've done to change necessarily, but the chicken we're growing this year has the flavor and texture and juiciness that we've not had before. It is amazingly good. Please stop supporting the cartel. They're locking you into the matrix. Stop playing along. Tell your friends to stop playing along. Stop. If we just did it here in Ann Arbor, in the suburbs, the smaller towns around Ann Arbor, think what we could do. Just think. Think. Why shouldn't it be that way? Why shouldn't we have a healthy community? We have the ability, we have the land. If farmers can make enough money doing the work that I'm doing, there would be more farmers doing it, I assure you. If there was a waiting audience that wanted clean food, that were clamoring for clean food, saying, we want clean food, we want clean food, marching in the streets, we want clean food, guess what? There would be farmers that would go, oh, if you're willing to buy it, well, I'll do it. I'll do it. There's nothing I want more than to grow clean food and to take care of the ecology and to help my society. I'll do it. Really, you want to help me? You want to buy clean food? I'll provide it. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to provide it, but I'm having to beat the bushes and trying to find people to buy my food, my clean food that I worked so hard for. And there are others. I don't want to speak for other guys in this because I'm ranting and I'm saying some unpopular things, talking about the cartels. But they're cartels. I'll give you another example about the cartel. So, and I'll end after this next story, okay? There are raw milk producers in our area. There aren't many, but there are some. And they go through all of the process and jump through all of the ungodly, unreasonable, crappy hoops and bureaucracy that are thrown down as part of being able to provide good, healthy food for people. And there's one that happened recently who was selling raw milk, and they got attacked by the Michigan Department of Agriculture, who showed up at one of this person's stops and confiscated all of the milk and all of the everything that was in the trailer to be delivered to people that they've already paid for, that was really theirs, and they took it all. And guess who made the phone call that got this person in trouble? Guess who did it? It was the Michigan Milk Producers Association, the cartel. The cartel called their lapdogs, the bureaucracy, and said, if you don't get out there and stop this, this is causing us trouble. We're losing producers, we're losing money, this is gaining traction. You better get out there or we're not going to be paying taxes like we were. We're not going to have all the dinners, for the lobbyists. Lobbying money's going to dry up. You better get it taken care of, and you better get it taken care of quick. Right off the bat, there they go. So then everybody that's producing raw milk and trying to give good food to people, they're like, yeah, I've done everything right. What happened? What do I need to do? Right? You pull back and you draw back into your hole, and the cartel's coming to get you. They want to keep you with the blue pill. Take the blue pill. Keep watching the advertisements. Keep taking our marketing. Don't worry about that. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. It's the same thing. You're being lied to. You're being swindled and stolen from. And you're paying to eat poison so that you can go to the medical industry in a few years and pay again to eat poison. And then when you get enough poison done and consumed, then you die. And the cartel is going, well, we got everything we could out of that person. Where's the next one? That's the way it is. I'm not making this up, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm just connecting dots. And if you started doing some research, you would find out that, that what I'm telling you is absolutely the truth. It's absolutely the truth. The pharmaceutical companies selling pesticides to farmers to put on the food, to make the food poisonous, to send you to the medical industry where they can give you more pills, and it all goes together to pay taxes. It's a true story. That bureaucracy is not out to protect you. They're out to make their money and save their job. It's the way it is. Let's end the cartel. Wherever you might be, find a farmer. Please. End the cartel. Take the red pill. Quit taking the blue pill. Wake up. Do the effort it takes. Somebody else is doing all the work. All you got to do is do a little bit of effort to go find a farmer and support that farmer with your food dollars. That's all it takes. It's the easy part. Way easy. All right. Next time I'll have, hopefully I won't be ranting again. But I'll have it written out. I'll have the text below and matched with the video. Excuse me. So good day to you. Eat well. God bless you.